Shelby started out with the flu, or what we thought was the flu.
Took her to the doctor. He said just do what we were doing as far as the flu goes. And then we got a call the following Wednesday from school saying that she could not breathe.
She entered the hospital around 11 o'clock that morning, February 13th, the day before Valentine's. And by that evening, she had lost her right lung. It was the size of a golf ball. She disappeared.
I didn't understand how it could progress so fast from the flu to the liquid, filling up her chest cavity so quickly.
The chest x-ray came back abnormal. She had a whiteout, I believe it was the right side of her lung, and we could not see any lung tissue on the right side. So we put her in the hospital, monitors, made sure she didn't need any oxygen, and put her on IV antibiotics, and we had general surgery consulted Dr. Whitehead just in case we needed to drain that fluid.
Shelby had what we would refer to as a complicated pleural effusion, and she had an infectious problem in her lung, pneumonia. So what I did for Shelby on 2 different occasions was go to the operating room, make small incisions between the ribs, insert a camera, and then use special instruments that can also go through the ribs to remove all of that fluid to try and remove some of the inflammatory exudate that was on the lung and leave large drainage tubes to drain the fluid as it accumulated.
When she ended up with the 2 chest tubes, that was traumatic for all of us because the smaller chest tubes didn't work, and so she had to have adult-sized chest tubes, which is like basically like having 2 garden hoses stuck in the side of your chest, one above the other. They're very painful to move, and especially as tiny as she is, having something that big, if we tried to move her at all, I mean, it was just excruciating.
That was hard watching your little girl go through the pain, because there's not really anything that you can do to give her a pain medicine on it.
She was a trooper. Any nurse could tell you that. She was very, very good. She handled herself so well and was so brave.
That's the first time in all the years I've been a pediatric nurse that we've had a child that small with adult-sized chest tubes, and that's because of what was draining needed a bigger exit.
So about 5 to 7 days into her hospital admission after being on IV antibiotics during that whole time period, spiking more and more fevers throughout the whole time, and Dr. Whitehead examining her every day along with me, we decided with the parents' approval that it was time to get a second opinion at a more specialty hospital such as Cook's.
To get up that next morning and they say, she's going to Cook. And I mean, that right there
was scary.
We decided it was probably better for her to go to a major center because the next potential step would have been actually an open thoracotomy where she had a large incision made in the chest. As it turned out, she didn't need that, and she got better within a few days of being up there.
Probably the plane ride was the turnaround. When she got there, it didn't seem she was as bad off as she should have been.
Fortunately, Shelby got better on her own, IV antibiotics, oral antibiotics, and never had to be opened up like we were afraid she would have to be opened up on her through her rib cage into her lungs. She did amazingly well, so we're happy with her progress.
When they told us that they were gonna send Shelby to Cook's, we knew at that point that they had done everything possible that they could do to help Shelby here. And I mean, they really ran the gamut of what they could do for her. And of course, we didn't want to have to leave town, but they felt that that was what was needed and in her best interest. And for them to tell us that, we felt confident that that's where she needed to go, but felt just as confident what they had done for her here was amazing.
Shelby was is our Children's Miracle Network child, and part of that the reason we enjoy being labeled as Children's Miracle Network Hospital is because we have access to more funds for pediatric care to help children out like Shelby.
Like in Shelby's case, the monitors in her room were from Children's Miracle Network. The recliner that her mom slept in beside her bed for 2 weeks, Children's Miracle Network provided. And the hippo bed that we have, it's not a necessary thing. We could use a regular examination table, but you know, it kind of eases their fears. It's something for us to talk to them about, distract them, and they just think it's fun, and so it's not such a scary, intimidating place. And that was kind of everything Children's Miracle Network has done. The teen room, the outpatient center.
All the IV poles are pediatric friendly, the nurses are pediatric friendly, the support and the funds that come from Children's Miracle Network provide just an overall friendly environment for the children. And so everything in the rooms that Shelby was surrounded by the 5 to 7 days she was here just made it a more friendly environment for a child.
I hope to, as a Miracle family, let people know how important it is to raise the money to get the most updated technology and everything that the hospital does need to keep kids here in San Angelo where their homes and their families are.
I was very sick, and I was lucky because the nurses, they helped me a lot. I'm back to my regular self.
Please support the Children's Miracle Network.
And help a miracle child just like me.